The first Viking raid on Paris was a traumatic event, leaving a lasting scar on the city's psyche. But it also served as a catalyst for change, prompting the Franks to strengthen their defenses and prepare for future confrontations with Northmen. The raid of 1845 had been a wake-up call for the Parisians. They knew that the Vikings would be back, and they were determined to be ready. In the intervening years, they had strengthened their defenses, repairing the old Roman walls and constructing new fortifications. The Annals Valentiniani records these efforts. After the devastation caused by the Northmen, Charles the Bold ordered the city of Paris to be fortified with strong walls and towers. But these efforts weren't limited to just the walls and the tower. Historian Janet L. Nelson, in her book Charles the Bold, describes a more comprehensive approach to defense. Charles the Bold understood the strategic importance of Paris. He not only strengthened its physical defenses, but also sought to improve the city's ability to withstand a siege by ensuring adequate supplies and provisions. This meant stockpiling food, weapons, and other essential resources within the city walls, preparing for the possibility of a prolonged siege. However, the Vikings too had learned from their previous raid. This time, they arrived not with a small raiding party, but with a massive fleet, reportedly numbering hundreds of ships and thousands of warriors. Their leader, Siegfried, was a seasoned warlord, determined to conquer the city and claim its riches. The scale of the Viking force is described in the Annal Medastini, a chronicle from the Abbey of St. Vaast in Arras. An immense multitude of Northmen, having assembled a great fleet, entered the Seine and laid siege to Paris. To put this into perspective, historian John Haywood, in his book The Penguin Historical Atlas of the Viking, estimates that the Viking force that besieged Paris in 1885 was likely the largest they had ever assembled for a single operation, possibly numbering as many as 40,000. Think about that. 40,000 Vikings outside your gates. The Vikings arrived in November of 885, and the siege began. They established their camp on the banks of the Seine, surrounding the city and cutting off its supply lines. The Parisians, led by Count Odo, a brave and resourceful leader, prepared for a long and arduous struggle. The Annal Fuldenses provides a vivid description of the siege. It says, the Northmen, having surrounded the city with their ships and warriors, began to attack it with various siege engines, hurling stones and fire at the defenders.